My name is Maurice Davis, and I am 68 years old. I'm a cancer survivor. I've been 7 years now since my diagnosis, and today I'm cancer free. It was one of the most scariest moments of my life. I didn't know what to think of, who to turn to. I did a lot of praying, and I relied upon my wife, Holly, for inspiration and guidance during that time. My doctor had done another procedure on me, and I trusted him, but I did get a second opinion. And after all of the after knowing as much as I could about the different options that I had, I decided to go with the robotic prostatectomy. And to date, I am cancer free. And I know as men, it's hard to discuss issues as sensitive as this, but we need to be aware of what's going on with our body. We need to get tested and stay informed on what is going on with us. And I hope that this will encourage people to go and get regular checkups. And
hi, my name is Brenda Russell, and I have been living with ovarian cancer since my diagnosis of October 31, 2017. Yeah, that was quite a Halloween surprise. I have been with this experience, as I call it, not a journey, with the support of my family and friends and loved ones. And I think the three parts of my story that have meant the most to me start with my faith, my personal faith in God. I think for me, it has been the standard. It has kept me grounded, and it has kept me going throughout, recognizing that what killed my mother, what my sister had also suffered, is not necessarily going to take me out. And my doctor, when I first asked her, which is the question every cancer patient asks, is how long do I have? She said, I think we should think of this as a chronic illness, like diabetes. And it took me off the ledge that I was on to start thinking, oh, okay, all right. I'm not going to plan my funeral tomorrow. I'm going to try to figure out what I have to do to make it to the next day. And that has been my sort of my prescription. So the second thing I would say is to share the story. I shared this with, of course, my immediate family, but I shared it with people at work. And I'm a lawyer by training, and I have a healthcare graduate degree. So I'm thinking about HIPAA and all. I just push all that stuff aside. You know what? I'm going to tell everybody, because it's not my fault that I got cancer. You try to connect the dots as to why something happened. This is not one of those connect the dots things. If I had done this, then that wouldn't have happened, or if I'd done that, that wouldn't have happened. You can't do that with cancer. It sneaks up on you and it gets you, and you're not to blame. And I especially hold that out for people who have lung cancer. People look at them like, oh, you smoked and you shouldn't have. Forget that. So that's the second thing, is I shared it with everybody, because that took the burden off of me of feeling like I had something to do with it. But the third thing that I think has really undergirded me and kept me going through all of this is to really understand that a lot of cancer is about stress. And I just decided to let stuff go. I decided to forgive people. I decided to overlook things. I decided to survive in spite of things. And I just didn't let things get to me. COVID was tough because there were people who wouldn't wear a mask and who didn't think it was real and all of that. I said, you know what? I can't be responsible for them. I can only be responsible for me. So, I masked up. I wore a mask that said cancer patient. And then I got vaccinated. I feel better, but I still can't control what anybody else does. And you never could. What do I wish that I knew or could have done differently? Been born 20 years later. I think that the advancements in cancer are such that in 20 years, this will be something that people accept like a cold or accept like diabetes or accept like, anything else. But at the core, what gets me through every day is understanding and knowing that this much is true. I can only do what I can do today. I don't have next week. I don't have next year. And guess what? I never did. It's okay. I can live today as though it's the most important day. And that's what I treasure. Thank you.
So my name is Raquel Tayez, but everyone calls me Kelly. I am an acute lymphoblastic leukemia survivor. I have been a survivor for more years than I have not. My journey with survivorship has been long and hard. At the age of 11, while leukemia had robbed me of parts of my childhood, I'd always believed that everything happened for a reason, even if I didn't know what that reason was. The particular mindset really got tested as I entered my 19th year of life. At 19, I had just finished my first semester of university with 17 credits, a 3.8 GPA, an amazing group of friends, a best friend that was unlike any friendship I had had prior, and I had just joined a sorority. I had found my life after just being the girl with cancer. But all of that didn't last long as I braced myself for the tsunami that was about to ravage my life for much longer than I would be in treatment. As I entered the eye of the storm, I was told that this treatment would be stronger and harder than the last time. And in the end, I would end up receiving a stem cell transplant. This time I got tested in more ways than one. While I was being treated for a childhood cancer, I was an adult with full comprehension of what was going on around me, and I didn't like it. My life was almost lost in the tsunami. I felt that when the storm passed, I would be okay. But as I picked up the rubble left behind, I found osteopenia, infertility, graft versus host disease that manifested in eye problems, GI problems, and excruciating joint pain. Honestly, the rubble that I found just didn't seem to end, but what I was looking for and what I didn't find was my faith. That 11-year-old who believed that everything happened for a reason was gone. I was about to embark on a journey that I didn't ask for. This journey was filled with anger, sadness, and led to destructive decisions. And I started to take the rubble and try to rebuild something that wasn't meant to be rebuilt, but rather what I needed to do was rebuild something new altogether. While it could resemble the old, it was never going to look the same. And that was the turning point for me. When I realized that my life was never going to be the same and that was okay, things started to change. It wasn't that I didn't forget what I had just been through or the aftermath I was now in the middle of, but the journey was so much more than finding the pieces to rebuild it. It was the little things that really helped me find me again. It was a smile on my face when I got up in the morning because I had found love, even if that love didn't work out. It was the I love yous in my grandfather's broken English as I brought him his favorite fruit. And it was my grandmother's distinct laugh, or even the way that my cat nudged my hand when she wanted love. I was finding life again. My health issues are never going to go away. They are the concrete footprints that cancer left behind, but it doesn't have to be everything about me. You see, I am crafty, tenacious, loving, and some would say too kind. But the best part, I'm a survivor.
Good morning. My name is Katie Lane. I am 42 years old and I live in Chicago, Illinois. When I was 34, I was diagnosed with ocular melanoma in my right eye. It's actually a very rare eye disease, especially in young folks like I was at the time. That basically means that I've been 8 years cancer-free this summer, and I'm very happy to be part of this survivorship panel. Wanted to talk to you folks a bit about my journey, kind of what it was like, the treatments that I went through, and really what got me through the tough times. Interesting thing about having a tumor in your eye is that you can't actually biopsy it or chemo it the way you can, other sort of cancers. So my treatment was called brachytherapy. It was basically a nickel-sized radioactive plaque that got stuck in the back of my head for a week. It was tough. I had an eye patch over my eye. I used to laugh and say that I was a pirate, but the fact of the matter is I was really alone because I was radioactive and I couldn't spend time with, my husband at the time or my cats because I didn't want to zap them. When the plaque got taken out, I had a gigantic shiner, so I rocked that eye patch for a couple more weeks until it went away. And, the tumor continued to shrink. Something about ocular melanoma is that if they do brachytherapy and the tumor just goes away like that, it means it's already metastasized somewhere in your body. So I've been fortunate for the past 8 years that every time I see my doctors at UIC, my tumor gradually shrinks. It started off as 9 millimeters and it's now just under 3. This past month, I actually had my yearly scans for metastasis and everything is clear. So I'm very excited to say that. Kind of what I wanted to share with you about your journey or what you're going through is you are really not alone. Sometimes I feel, having had cancer, that I was kind of like a random buoy in the middle of the ocean and I was all by myself. But you're not alone. I really did get through the majority of, my treatments, the majority of my anxiety with really close friends. Unfortunately, my folks live on the East Coast, so they've not been able to join me on my journey. But I can't tell you the amount of, friends, neighbors, landlords, that would drive me to my appointments and hold my hand. Use your circle of people. Don't push them away. I was actually guilty of that. I do that just about every year. Every time I get my scans, I get really nervous and I start being frustrated to people. Don't do that, because the people in your life that care about you and want to support you are there. Really just appreciate your community, your friends. Lean on other folks that may have had cancer in the past. There are a couple really great organizations out there that I've been part of that really just bring us all together as a community of survivors and fighters. Reach out to the folks at the Wellness House, reach out to the folks at Emmerman Angels. We're a big family. Us cancer folks, and we're going to get through this together. One of the things I will say about the treatment that I had is that it's not glamorous. I felt really ugly with that eye patch and that shiner. And I'm sure that, there are some times like you don't feel pretty because this thing is inside of you. You are pretty because of your heart. Not what you look like, not the hair on your head or the lack thereof or the shiner. Your heart is what makes you beautiful and your heart is what makes you strong. And I just wanted to share that part of my journey. I'm very blessed to be part of this. I'm very blessed to be 8 years cancer-free. And if you need me, you can reach out at any time. So thank you, UIC. Thank you, everyone. Be blessed, be patient, and be kind to yourself. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Bernice Kenner. I was diagnosed with breast cancer stage 3 in 2002. What helped me through the breast cancer was my family, my kids, and other friends. I would like to see cancer improve a lot by a lot of females, when they hear the word cancer, they get scared and think it's the end of the world. It is not the end of the world. Don't ever think that. All you really need to do is think positive. Don't ever think negative, and you don't need no negativity around you. Do what you was doing before you had the cancer and continue to do it. You know, it's a lot of research going on, and you think you need to talk to someone, find someone who's been through cancer or is going through cancer so they can help you with it and become a buddy, become a partner so you can help them and they can also help you. But remember, it's not the end of the world because you hear that word, I have cancer. It's not the end of the world. Don't you ever think that. Because number one, first, we are winners. We do not give up. So you always have to remember that. Just remember those words. We do not give up. And I would like for everyone to take your daughter, sister, grandmama, auntie, take them all to the clinic. Get tested because you really need this test to see what's going on with your body. You know, I was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer. I made 20 years. I went back to the doctor and found that I had stage 2 in the left and the other breast was aggressive. But guess what? I told the doctors because it's aggressive. I'm more aggressive. Don't nobody run his body but me. We have to get a hold of cancer and do what we need to do. We got to all come together and stomp cancer down because it's mostly in the Black neighborhood and we can get rid of it. Not just saying because it's Black, Latinos, anybody. We can take cancer by the head and get rid of it. We're going to stomp cancer down. We're going to all come together and we're going to have a big party. And remember, you also have 2 birthdays. The birthday that you was born on and the date that you came, that you was diagnosed with cancer. I did 20 years and I'm planning to do 40 more years. So I hope you around, join me. I would love to hear from you all. If you can't get a hold to me, you can catch up with some of my doctors. And first and foremost, I had the greatest team of doctors. And I would like to thank Susan Holmes because she was my favorite doctor. She's not here, but guess what? I still got a great team of doctors. And I would like to thank them, thank you, and you have a very blessed day.
Hello, my name is Bento Suarez, and I serve as head of the Department of Cancer Biology and Pharmacology and a senior associate dean for research at the Peoria campus of the University of Illinois College of Medicine. I was a caregiver for cancer patients twice. First, for my late wife, Vera, who had a very aggressive cartilage tumor that ended up taking her life in 14 months after intensive treatment that included 3 major surgeries. Subsequently, I remarried to Karen, who herself was a cancer survivor. Sadly, soon after, she developed metastatic disease, went through 5 years of intensive treatment, and ended up succumbing to the disease as well. When I look back and I think of what's most needed for cancer survivors, I think of emotional support, community support, but emotional support is absolutely necessary. But when I think of well-being of the cancer patient, I think of that as not being divorced from the well-being of the caregivers. And that includes both the partner caregiver, but also the healthcare professionals. Because without the proper skills for emotional awareness, emotional balance, resilience, compassion, healthcare professionals are at the risk of burning out and not being able to be there for us when we most need them. The cancer journey offers both challenges and opportunities. The challenges are so many: pain, physical change, anxiety in anticipation of test results, fear of recurrence, so many more. But the opportunities are also invaluable. And I'm referring to the wisdom that arises through that suffering. Something we can't acquire by attending lectures or reading books. This embodied experience, this wisdom that enables us to treasure life in a different way, to recognize the preciousness of every moment, to recognize the transient nature of our life, the wisdom that enables us to savor simple moments of joy, moments that before we might not even have noticed. The wisdom that enables us to sharpen our focus, direct our attention and actions in ways that are much better aligned with our values, with that which we find meaningful in life. There's another lesson I learned that I would like to share with you, and that is that the sooner the palliative care team and the hospice team get involved, the better. Their involvement doesn't necessarily need to mean that the outcome is not going to be favorable, but they bring expertise that is complementary to that of the remainder of the care team. For example, they may be able to handle chronic pain better than anyone. Last but not least, take care of yourself. As a caregiver, you need self-compassion. Think of what we are told when we're about to take off in the plane. Put your oxygen masks first before you can help others. Without self-compassion, without giving ourselves the kindness and the compassion that we need, we don't have enough reserves. We don't have enough fuel to care for our loved ones the way we so much want to. So sometimes the most compassionate action we can take is self-compassion. Because through self-compassion, we can be a loving presence for our loved ones. So thank you and take care.